So you might remember on last week's show, DJ Mortasha Kinsky opened her first set with the new mix of Lament of a Lost Soul by Brigitte Handley. Really amazing song that has a really great video that goes along with it. So look for that on YouTube. Brigitte has been making music on her own as a solo musician and also concurrently with her band, The Dark Shadows, since about 2007. They've got a number of EPs and LPs and singles available on Bandcamp, both with her solo career and with her band. And she has a new single that we are going to play right after this interview, and she also has a new EP coming out early next year. She joins us now from her home in Cologne in Germany. Brigitte Handley, welcome to New Music Mondays.
Hi, nice to see you. Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to finally meet you after exchanging some messages with you and after having listened to you for the past I think 4 or 5 months when I first heard Alien Movies in a DJ set by DJ Cyberpagan, also from Germany. And I was like, who is this and who hasn't told me about The Dark Shadows and Brigitte Handley? Because I'm angry at them. So I've been listening to for this past several months. Let's talk about your solo career and The Dark Shadows. When did those kind of get off the ground?
Well, I've been doing music for as long as I can remember, and The Dark Shadows, I guess we kind of formed around 2007, and that was, I was doing some solo stuff before that, but yeah, I kind of had a sort of, some songs that I've been working on, and I wanted to kind of, form a band around those songs. And yeah, so that's kind of how Dark Shadows formed. We put out an EP called Identity, which was actually under my name at the time. And then that later came out with the Dark Shadows as later as an album called Darkness Calls. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great. And going further back, you mentioned that you've been performing or playing music for as long as you can remember. When did you first pick up an instrument and start learning how to play?
Yeah, I guess when I was a kid, I always listened. I grew up with, a lot of music playing in the house. So, I always had an ear for music. I wanted to play piano like Jerry Lee Lewis and Little Richard, but that kind of never really happened. I did some pianos. That was my first instrument, was a little bit of piano, but yeah, it was to find a piano teacher that would, teach me how to play, like Little Richard was a little bit difficult in the town where I grew up, but yeah, so I loved a lot of the kind of 50s rock and roll and stuff like that. So yeah, and then I wanted to learn saxophone when I went to high school. I was really excited to learn saxophone, but all the other kids got to the music class first, and all the saxophones are out. So I played a bit of clarinet, a little bit. And yeah, then I kind of got into singing through, like school musicals and things like that. Actually, I was really into drama and theatre, and it kind of just developed through that. So yeah, then I started playing in bands, and yeah, then I, just all sort of, so I kind of, in a way, I always felt lucky. I kind of always knew that I wanted to do music in one way or another, or something to do with performance. So from as far back as I can remember.
Right. I love it when musicians have a background in theater. You can kind of tell, it gives you some kind of like confidence especially as a front person. But anyway, so when you're a teenager, sounds like is when these things, drama and music and everything started kind of really becoming to the forefront in your life. If you were to ask your teenage self what her favorite band was, what would she say?
There was a few, but I would say probably the Stray Cats, the Damned, yeah, Clash, a lot of that kind of 77s punk kind of stuff. Patti Smith. But then I like stuff like Peggy Lee and, you know, that kind of Marlene Dietrich kind of stuff as well. So I kind of always had a broad taste in music, and in terms, that was, you know, as a teenager, that's kind of the stuff I grew up with, but I kind of, you know, moved more into, yeah, I love The Cure and all, you know, a lot of 80s stuff as well, the Eurythmics. Yeah, yeah. So, and that kind of developed into more sort of post-punk stuff, and I could definitely, from traveling in Europe and whatnot, I kind of, you know, I love to a lot of the kind of German Tangerine Dream and you know, Kraftwerk, of course. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so, yeah, so much great music out there.
Some of your influences definitely show in the covers that you've decided to perform. You do a really great version of Freedom of Choice by Devo, and of course the famous Cold Wave song Ice Bear by Growzone. Dark Shadows do a great cover of that. Have you done any other covers that you haven't recorded? Like for live shows?
Yeah, for a live show. What did we do? We did Transmission actually live, Joy Division with the Dark Shadows, and that was always really fun. And that kind of, we never recorded that. It was kind of just something that we were about to go on tour to do a big European tour, and a friend of mine, Holger who does the Disorder Party in Cologne, we were actually going to perform there live at the Blue Shell in Cologne, and he said, "Hey, how about doing a Joy Division song?" And we're like, "Oh gosh, you know, that's a big ask." I think it was like literally a week or a few days before we're about to fly out, and I'm like, "Okay, what are we going to do?" So we ended up doing that, and we ended up closing the set with that song on that tour, and it was just so much fun, and it was just such a good vibe to play it. Yeah, we kind of kept it in the set for quite a while. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we never got around to recording it. But there's some live stuff on YouTube. I think you can see us perform that live.
Of you performing Transmission?
Yeah, yeah. I think
Cool.
there's something in Stuttgart. A gig that we did, and they recorded that, and I think it's got a live version of that.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite cover to perform?
It's look, there's, in a way, there's a kind of freedom in playing someone else's song, because it's something, because you just I mean, for me, as long as it's an interpretation, you know, like for me, I need to interpret in my own way. But look, Ice Bear is always a good fun one. You know, that was something that I had never heard of Kreuzzone until I came to Germany, and I remember hearing that song played at a lot of after parties, and I couldn't speak a word of German, so I had to say, I get the DJ I said, "What is this song? I keep hearing it, it's so cool." And so I got the DJ to write down the name of the song, and then when I went back to Australia, I was like, yeah, like it really was digging it, and I was like, yeah, I just couldn't stop listening to it, and I was like, you know, maybe this could be fun to kind of learn a few words of German, since we seem to be just touring in Germany a lot. And yeah, we kind of it just was a lot of fun to jam on, and then doing the recording was a really fun session, and playing it live. I remember the first time we played it live in Germany, and people were like, "How do you know this song?" Like, you know, this Australian band doing a song, and we're like, well, because we heard it over here. So yeah.
Has the West Coast American riot girl movement from the 90s ever been on your radar? And I'm not saying that just because the Dark Shadows are an all-female band. I think I hear something, especially in songs like Dave Likes Dolls. I hear kind of a Kathleen Hanna sound, maybe Red Ants from Los Angeles, if you're familiar with them.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think definitely Carly, our bass player, was totally into that kind of stuff. I like a bit of it, but it was never really a main influence. I mean, but I totally, yeah, I dig that kind of stuff for sure. Yeah. But yeah, my kind of influences are what I mentioned before. But Carly had she's definitely a real punk and into like a lot of right girl stuff, and you know, but into like, you know, she also like Nick, Carly and I, we all have very open, broad tastes in music. So, but yeah, Carly would be more of an expert on that kind of stuff than me.
Mhm. Very good. What are some interests and or hobbies that you have outside of music?
Yeah, well, I guess I love just, you know, going for long walks in you know, in the forest, or in like in Australia. I love to like walk on the beach or like by the harbour, just to get away from things. I kind of grew up in the country in Australia, in the bush, deep in the bush, and so I always had a really big affinity for nature and appreciation of that. So that's one thing that I love to do. And but you know, I love reading. I love films. I yeah, I love going to art galleries, and you know, being in Germany at the moment. There's so much stuff that, you know, I feel like I'm a kid again, because there's so much stuff to absorb and learn, and it's all new and fresh and interesting. So I find it so inspiring. So, but yeah, I mean, and I'm also pretty. I mean, I'm like, obviously the music, my life revolves around the music, but I also like to just kind of chill out and be quiet, have a, you know, I love going and meeting some friends in a cafe, drinking tea and, you know, chatting about, or, you know, whatever topic for hours. So, yeah.
I was born and raised in California, which has somewhat of a similar climate as Australia, maybe not quite as humid, but definitely warm. And I've only visited Germany once 4 years ago, and I went at a time of year when a California boy should probably not be in Germany. It was very, very cold.
Mm.
I mean, I just couldn't believe that, you know, some crazy nomads thousands of years ago were passing by there and said, oh, this would be a great place to settle down for generations and generations. I just can't imagine. What was it like making the adjustment from the climate on Australia to Germany?
For me, well, I love the cold weather. I am like the, you know, I come to life when it's cold and dark and gloomy. That's me. So look, it's obviously a lot colder than, you know, Sydney. Sydney was always too hot for me, to tell you the truth. Like it was too hot and humid, and I'm just that I'm not at my peak when it's like that. But I do, you know, I do miss being near the ocean, having that kind of yeah. But we've got the Rhine here, which is you know. But yeah, the cold. I think when we came here and we had to tour, and we were touring about October or November. Yeah, it was kind of, it wasn't too bad. Like it was a bit of a shock, but Carly and Ned are really, they were not into the cold as much as me. But I love the snow. I love, you know, I am so excited when it snows, and people here are grumbling about it because they've got to, you know, go trudge to work, and I'm like, yay, snow, schnee, as they say here. So I'm in my element. But I tell you what, it's like, even the short time I've been back and forth in between Australia and Germany or Europe, I've noticed that it's getting warmer here. It's like the summers are longer, they're hot, and you know, there's no escape
Yeah.
during the summer here, because it doesn't get dark till 10 o'clock at
Yeah, there's
night.
been some
And
record-breaking summers the last few years. I think it was 2017 was the hottest that it's ever been in Germany, something like that. 2018, maybe, I can't quite remember.
it's been insane. Yeah. So, but yeah, the for me it was a nice. It's been I thrive, like I said, in the winter times. So yeah, I love it. So I hope it stays. You know, I hope it doesn't get too hot, because yeah, but yeah, the world is changing, isn't
Something about that, definitely.
it?
So let's talk about future plans. I know it's a difficult question in the middle of a worsening pandemic. Things are getting worse here, projected to get really bad. I hope that things are not quite as bad in Germany. I actually have no idea. Well, you've got your EP. We've got your EP to look forward to in the early part of next year. Do you have any like live stream performances or anything planned that we can share with our viewers?
Yeah, look, I'm kind of, well, at the moment, I'm just about to release a brand new single called Köln, named after the city, the German city. So that will be coming out on the 2nd of November. And I will, yeah, I'm going to be doing a small live stream that's in November sometime. I was planned to perform a show in an art gallery for Halloween, and also then follow up by a performance there. But at the moment, things have been worsening in Germany and in Cologne. It's getting, it is one of the hot spots here, unfortunately. So we are like, I will make a very small appearance to it. It'll be like a preview listening with people in the gallery. Very limited, like I have to book ahead and all that kind of thing, because I can't actually, the gallery is too small to sing in. They've got restrictions now. You have to have at least 4 meters distance between singing or a wind instrument. So that's out of the question, but I will do like a live stream from the gallery in November. So yeah, stay posted check out the Facebook and everything. That'll be posted as soon as that is the date and time will be confirmed. So yeah, but apart from that, yeah, we just got the 2nd of November, the single coming up. Really excited about that. This is a song that I've been working on for a while, and it's just been a really yeah, it's been a really interesting journey, and something I'm really proud of and really excited. It's a collaboration with Matahari Ranch, who I recently collaborated with on the remix of Lament of a Lost Soul. So it's been great to work with those guys again. And yeah, so that'll be coming out on Bandcamp on the 2nd of November. So it'll be on Bandcamp first, and then followed, we'll release it digitally on iTunes and Spotify shortly after. And then we'll be going to be looking at a vinyl EP release early next year. So yeah. So
congratulations. Yeah, we have that single, and in just a minute we are going to listen to it. So very excited about that. And congratulations on just a great solo career so far, and some really enjoyable music from Dark Shadows as well. We look forward to hearing more from you in the future. Thank you so much for joining us on New Music Mondays.
Thank you so much, David. It's been a pleasure to be a part of the show. And yeah, thank you so much for, you know, providing a great show like this, because, you know, I think at the moment as musicians, we're all realizing that, you know, there's a lot of DJs out there doing a really great, you know, great work, bringing everyone together with shows like yours, and you know, playing our music. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, it's kind of the same thing as musicians. You know, one of the things that a lot of musicians are using as a coping mechanism to get through the pandemic is continuing to make music and release it. And we can't play in the clubs right now. So, you know, we have to continue our relationship with our audience. And now, you know, sort of a blessing in disguise is that we get to deepen our relationships with the musicians that make the music that we play for our audiences. So I'm really thankful for that. And it's really great to meet you.
Oh, thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Excellent. Okay, so this is the new single, which I'm not going to pronounce correctly. I think it's Köln. The English pronunciation is Cologne, the name of the city that Brigitte now lives in. And then we're going to follow that. I normally don't do a second song after the interview, but I'm so into this particular song, Distant Mind, from Brigitte, that I'm going to play that as well. You're watching New Music Mondays.
Hi everyone, hope you liked that video. If so, please like and subscribe to receive notifications when we upload more content. New Music Mondays is a live stream show every Monday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on twitch.tv/DavyBonesOakland. It features myself and a weekly guest DJ spinning new releases in the world of dark music, post-punk, goth, dark wave, as well as interviews with the people that make the music happen. So it's a lot of fun. Make sure to join us live. Again, that's every Monday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., or actually about 9:30 Pacific time. The audio will always be uploaded the next day to my Mixcloud page, mixcloud.com/DavyBonesOakland. And thanks for watching the video on YouTube. The interviews will all be uploaded to the YouTube channel, as well as an occasional kind of behind the scenes video as well. All right. Thanks again.